Hey everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I've got a very special guest joining me from Waz Up TV. It is Levon. It's great to have you on, Levon. And what a weekend it was for the club. Actually, a great weekend as a whole. As a Warriors fan, we got to see the our Jersey flag under 21s, our women's NRLW side, our first graders win. It's a great weekend to be a fan. But Levon, it's great to see you on the channel again. It's been a while. I know we've tried to suss out a show for a while now. But how are you doing, Levon? Hope you're doing well.
Good man. Yeah, just finished off a stream on with my members at Wise Up TV, and shout out everyone in the chat. Great to have everyone here. Um, but man, great to have a weekend. 4 out of 4, eh? It was a huge weekend for the team, the club. So, thanks for having me, Fanatics, man. It's good to be here again. Yeah, been a long time, but it's good to finally get on here.
Yeah, it's always good to have you on. And just pop into the chat quickly before we get into it. So hello to everyone from Waz Up TV who's just popped in. So good to see you all. Got Rich in the chat. And we've got Jose. Good to see you, Jose. Hope you're doing well. And we've also got Russ and Lenny up the wires. Good to see you in the chat. And we've got Bosch and we've got Brad as well. So we've got a few others and Jazz, of course, in the chat as well. It's good to see you all here. And I hope you're all doing well tonight. And yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to review that game, that game against the Tigers. But we're also going to have a look back at our other teams that were in action on the weekend. So first, we will bring it up. The banner here on the screen. So the Jersey Flag Cup under 21s. And yeah, look, I watched this game live on I think it was Saturday afternoon down there at North Harbour Stadium in Auckland. So they were
Yeah,
playing at North Harbour Stadium there, and the boys picking up a remarkable come from behind victory, 44 points to 42. They were trailing 36-16 against this Tigers side. And yeah, well, remarkable comeback. They scored, I believe, it was on the siren, and it was Brendan Norris who scored a try. And yeah, we kicked the conversion there. I think it was Jack Thompson who kicked the conversion. And yeah, we won the game 44 points to 42. So, what were your thoughts on this one, Levon? Did you see the game? Because boy, it was incredible. It was a remarkable comeback from these young players who look. I think the back end of this season they've really found their rhythm. Actually, they've found their form. And a shout out to TJ Ashford. He is doing a
yeah,
great job just coming in from that Harold Matthews side who went back to back, and how he's taken over the reins there. And you can see that his coaching's from that grade has transforming into this grade as well. And it was a remarkable effort to win this game by 44 points to 42. A very high scoring game. Obviously, no defence, not a lot of defence in this game, as you can see by the points scored. So defence was really optional in this game. But yeah, what were your thoughts on this one?
yeah. It's one of those things, when we know it as Warriors fans of old specifically. You can be trading 20 points down, and then you just get a rush of energy and excitement
Yeah,
that things just start to happen. And you just saw the boys just start to play a little bit off the cuff, a bit of structure. Things started to fall their way. And then Brandon Norris with that last solo try. I just think it's a part of the game of rugby league, and that once you get on a roll, you can be hard to stop. But for credit to TJ, like I'm saying with you, credit to TJ and the team there and the boys to get themselves in that position and fight back the way that they did. It shows you, firstly, they got that belief and heart in themselves, but also that they're a dangerous team. They got talent across the park in the halves as well. I think I didn't get to watch the game live, and shout out to Warriors Anonymous always with the quality, top level, top tier. highlights packages that helps get us familiar with it. But that's one of those games that you build off of and say, far out, we could really, really build from that. And I think it shows the caliber of talent from an attacking point. Yeah, 40 points, 44 to 42. It was a free for all. There was no defense at all. But it highlights the level of talent in terms of scoring the ball, attacking wise. It's great to see that as well. So I love what I saw from everyone that played a part in that.
Yeah, and of course, there's a lot of real potential young players there. And I think I think there's this one player that stands out, Brendan Norris. There's so many others,
Brandon
but
Neuhaus,
Brendan
bro.
Norris, and he's been great this year. He's having a really good season, and yeah, and a player that I love to see the club lock in for the future, for the next couple of years. I know, like, it's not always possible to lock in everyone, but it'd be nice to lock in a young player like you know Brendan Norris, because he's showing real potential, and he's got great quality, and I know he can be, well, the next couple of years, if he can keep developing, he could do very well, actually. So
Yeah.
but yeah, just in the chat, Jose has actually asked a question, so I will actually reply to it. Did you guys get to meet up? No, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
Me and Levon were planning to meet up on the Gold Coast here, but yeah, unfortunately, timing wise, we just couldn't come to it. But I'm sure we will definitely meet up in the future. I'm sure there'll be a time we will definitely meet up. But
For
yeah,
sure, bro. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. It was just
definitely,
unfortunate timing. When you're on
yeah,
holiday, it's hard to connect everyone together. So
yeah,
you got to keep everyone as happy as you can.
yeah, yeah. Good to see you, Tahi, bro, in the chat. Good to see you. Hello to Damien as well. How you going, Damien? Good to see you in the chat as well. But yeah, look, all I got to say is it was a good win by the Flex side, and it's good to see them continuously improving. And I know at the start of the season they had a few bad losses, but then they've sort of come together. But now you're seeing Jet play, and Jet's been playing, and now playing this trade there in that grade, and obviously he's playing New South Wales Cup now with Tanner Boyd now in first grade. So yeah, it's good to see that a lot of those players developing, and yeah, I'm sure they. Well, I think at the moment, I think they've jumped up to seventh on the Jersey Flegg Cup table. So I believe top five is final. So maybe a possibility. Maybe they could make
Could very
a,
well
a
be.
they could be on a bit of a charge here to make the finals. They're keeping their season well and truly alive with some of these results. So but yeah, who knows? Who knows? But even if they don't make the finals, it's all about just continuously developing, improving, and those players and developing well. Is what I say there. So, but yeah,
Yep.
good result for them. Big shout out to them. They start off the weekend very well, and they got a good win there. So good to see for them as well there. Um, But yeah, the next team I want to talk about is the NRLW. And look, these girls, obviously the first game was very tough because we played the defending premiers, the Roosters, at Allianz Stadium, and the Roosters' experienced side. A lot of Gillaroos, internationals, New South Wales, Origin players, and of course we've got the coach as well, John Strange. Look, they showed some promising signs in that game. And Ronald Griffiths was very positive, coming out of that game. It felt he was very positive with that energy that they showed. Obviously, they had a few moments in defence, but the second game here, in round two at Go Medium at Smart Stadium, our first home game for the girls in a couple of years. And
Yeah.
boy, these girls, look, first game, it's always good to play in front of your family, your friends. Putting on that jersey, running out of that tunnel too, which was awesome to see. I was really stoked to see that they were using the old tunnel that the boys used to run out for those years. But yeah, I think that. What did you make out of this game? There was a great start. A real great start. You can see it physically, defensively. They were right up for the challenge. I think Parramatta made an error early on the game, and then we scored our first try to Michaela Break. So yeah, well, what were your thoughts on this game? I thought there was
Yep.
a lot of standout players in particular, but how did you see this game?
Yeah, I thought it was there was some really good moments. I think
Mm,
um firstly to see the girls get two quality tries from structure. Michaela breaks awesome finishing there, and is it Peyton on the other side? Um,
yep.
pass that IP Nichols gave her was amazing. So to see those two well structured tries early on, then we kind of lost our way a bit. I thought the girls dropped a fair bit of ball and good
Yeah.
positions. But credit to the girls, they defended very, very well. And the start of the second half, there was about 4 or 5 repeat sets for the Eels that they had to defend, and they did a wonderful job getting over the line. So, yeah, the standouts was Michaela Brait. Thought she was awesome. Then you add in, I thought the centers, Ignacio, and the back rowers as well. I'm still learning their names, but I'll get there once I get more familiar with them. Um, the halves, Patricia was good again. I thought she's got heaps of room to grow. Um, and then Leishon in the middle was, I thought she did her. She's awesome as well, Leishon. She just keeps going, even you think she's a bit tired, but no, she just got the energy. She's very unassuming actually. And then the bench of Matsukino Gray came on and put some energy and hits on and carries as well. Quidley is going to be a good player as well. So the whole performance, when you add it all up, to shut out the Eels, who I think beat their team. I'm not sure who they played last week, but they came off a win. Um, Shows that we've got a good team here, and Ron's got pieces there that he can work with. And he's done well to get them going so far with like 10 NRLW debutants, what's 5 or 6 from rugby union. So it's massive, and especially Michaela Break. I think her impact, we're starting to really see her now and what she brings. We're going to have a good run. They beat the Sharks. Yeah, shout out to, is that what Lani's saying? They beat the Sharks.
Yeah,
Sharks are no
the
scrubs
Sharks.
either. Sharks are a good team. So that tells you something as well, that we've got the pieces there to build off of. Shout out to Russ. Love to my brother Russ and Lani as well. Cooper Fano. Good to see him in here. But yeah, really, really happy with that one. And room to
Yeah,
grow. Like there was so much drop
definitely.
ball. I was getting
Yeah.
frustrated with how much drop ball there was. But
Oh, yeah,
they're starting. They're still finding their way. But it's good to find your way and get a win. You know.
mm,
So that's all. Yeah, it was wonderful.
yeah, yeah. I say like the start. Obviously, we started well, and then there's a couple of few moments where we had a few opportunities to go over and score more points, and then of course there's a couple of
Yeah.
you know missed passes, mistakes,
Yeah.
and
Agreed.
that's generally going to happen. I know. Against the Roosters, quite a few people being a bit harsh on them against the Roosters. Which I thought, first game in the NRW, a few debutants. It's not going to click from game one. And we had no pre-season as well, which came as a bit of a surprise that we had no pre-season game leading up to round one.
Exactly.
I was a bit surprised by that. I'm not too sure why that's the case. They couldn't organise something, or I don't know what the situation is around how that goes. But
Yeah.
look, I think round one may have been looked like it was a blessing in disguise. Round one, and then round two. I know there's still a few moments there and then, but obviously, like I say, they'll only get better over time. It starts with the combinations, and yeah, Molly she's the one to watch.
She's good.
She's the one. She's the one to watch. She's obviously coming from that rugby union sort of background as well, and we've got a few of those players, including Michaela Brake, who I thought she was outstanding. second game in. I just looked at her stats. 243 all running meters, 59 post contact meters, 2 line breaks, 16 tackle breaks. Um,
Yeah, bro.
16
I
tackle breaks for
saw.
Michaela
Do you
Bray.
follow that girl? Watch her footy on Instagram, and she puts up really cool
Yeah,
stats. But she said Michaela had the most tackle breaks since I think 2023 in RLW. So, which goes to show you how good she is. Like crazy.
yeah, yeah. She's a pure athlete. What I've watched a lot of her in the sevens, rugby sevens for the Black Ferns, and yeah, she's a real professional athlete. And obviously rugby league, new game for her. Coming through from rugby sevens, so it is going to take a bit of time for her to adjust to the old new format for her.
Absolutely.
In the game. So obviously we've got a few others. I think Ekanasio is another one.
Yeah, Ganassi is good.
Oh,
She
she's
she's
real
very
good.
good.
And her she did actually she had a good game too. 16 all runs and 149 all running meters for 56 post contact meters, 11 tackles made. So
Is she
it's not
rugby
not
as
a
well, Ikanasio?
yeah. I think she's another she's one of the other rugby players coming over. Yeah, from rugby union. So quite a
Bro, she
few.
was good.
We got a few as well, and I think the forwards. I think obviously you mentioned Lizon Albert Jones. Apologies if I pronounced the name wrong, but yeah, she was good as well. 144 running meters, 54 post contact meters as well. So yeah, she had a good game too. So there's quite a lot of talent there in the disposal of the Warriors NRLW side at the moment. And Ronald Griffiths, shout out to him. It's just he's he's one of the highly fancied coaches in the women's game.
He is.
Obviously, came over from Newcastle, and I think Newcastle there's a lot of praise from Newcastle players as well when he was over there. So, we've got a good coach here. And I was surprised when we got him. Um, Really surprised we were able to bring him over to New Zealand and attract him over here. So yeah, look, I think a good win. I think a good win, but obviously plenty to improve on, plenty to work on. But it's always good to get a result at home, in front of your home, in front of your family and friends.
Yep.
Especially and especially Warriors' first ever home game. I think home game win actually. Because we haven't played too many home games in the NRLW since we've come on board. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I just want to quickly mention
yeah.
um what Russ was saying in the chat. Shout out Russ was Uppy reminds me of Chance. I thought
Oh,
Uppy is beast, bro.
yeah. Oh, she
If
was
you
good.
watch Uppy's
Yeah,
when Patricia put that awesome kick, and I thought, oh, yep, we're going to get a repeat set here. And then the girl made the line break, and then Uppy just did that one-on-one tackle. And she
yeah,
just picked up the fullback and dropped her. And Uppy's definitely that. She can tell she's the leader, she's the captain, and leads by example. But I thought her for one. The f- Sorry, they've got Shakira Baker, low key
yeah,
underrated. I reckon. I think she's come from rugby as well, bro. She's a good back rower actually. Same with Kaya Aitai on the other side. Lavinia Kitai is rounding out to be a good front row with Harata. Harata and Capri's service this week was better.
yeah,
Quidley is going to be good too. I thought Quidley had a bit of a poor game, but Marire Puketapu was good too in her service and her yardage. Ashley Matapo, actually, was a top 30 signing. So she's come from, I don't know, local league. I don't know where she's come from. Maybe anyone in the chat might know more about Ashley Matapo, but she got signed a top 30 contract and proved herself within that short time frame of preseason that they had. And she's starting to build her game as well. So, look, it's still early days, but what Ron's able to do with, I'm not saying it's on the level of Web. Well, he's a two-time NRLW Premiership winner, so you can't say he's not Webby. But in the equivalence of Webby, he might be a Bellamy. Now he might not be a Bellamy, but he might be able to get the best out of this group. surprisingly enough, in the NRLW space. So what he's doing right now, it needs to be applauded. And just so Peyton Takimona, I thought she had a bad game against the Roosters. She had a tough day against Navidi, I think it was the Fijian, just destroyed her. But this
Yeah.
game, she had a tough assignment still with their winger, which was um, Martha Matalea. She was big as well. But I thought Peyton scored that wonderful try. You can see she's got some skill as well. So, but yeah, I loved watching the girls. It's great. I enjoy watching the girls too. Anyway, just sorry I added on a bit too much there, but yeah,
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's good information there. Yeah, and of course, look, obviously for me, like I'm still learning the women's game. And a
yeah,
lot of us
same.
fans are too. So we're not. I'm not probably got the best knowledge in terms of the women's game, but just following it from what I've seen, and obviously we'll get better over time once we follow these girls a lot longer, and as fans we'll see more. But yeah, I was just saying, just one way of wrapping up saying it that it was just good to see them get over the line. And they were very happy. You can see how happy they were, on the field as well. And look, they were happy last week, even though they lost. They were really enjoying it being on the field. And like I say, don't expect too much in their first year back.
Yeah,
Don't expect too much. Don't put a lot of expectations or pressure. Because I think this first year back is a bit of a learning curve. To see how for them. If they can finish, look, if they finish around sixth, seventh, eighth, not bad. Not bad. I think, but
not bad at all.
yeah, not bad at all. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up about the women's team. So they've got the Knights this week. So Ronald Griffith's
Yeah,
former side in Newcastle, and
yeah, it's
I'm
nice. I like that.
it's gonna
I
be
like
gonna be gonna be good. Welcome him. He'll be back at his home in Newcastle there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the girls go. But we'll see how this win will galvanise them moving forward, and we'll see what
it.
happens in this
There's some
next
good
game.
battles there. Just quickly, just to preface it, Fnac.
Yeah,
Vet Welsh Botil. She's the old Tigers. I think she's coming for
yeah,
Tamika Upton. Shanice Parker, Kiwis player. So that's going to be a massive battle between I
oh
think it's Shanice and either Pucky or then in the half Southwell. You know,
yeah,
um, Yasmin Clydesdale again, quality there. So it's a good battle. This one, they're good games.
oh
Um, so yeah, after the Wires too, as Ross is saying, I
yeah,
think it's a late game. So hopefully the boys get the dub and then we get to watch the girls after as well. So yeah,
yeah. So
I love it.
it's a big one on Sunday. Yeah, definitely
Yeah, massive,
massive
massive
one.
game. Yeah, Ron will get them up for. I got a feeling Ron's gonna try. The
Oh,
ex-coach. He's gonna try and set the girls up. Hey, they got rid of me, or no, I don't know if it's that type of thing, but it's kind of like he'll have something to prove against his old club. But yeah,
yeah. Yeah, good to yeah. Hello to Will in the chat. Good to see Will and Cookies in the chat as well. Just seeing your comments. So good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, moving on. We'll move on now. So we'll chat about the New South Wales Cup side.
nice.
And the New South Wales Cup side got another win on as well. 22 points to 14. Now look, they dominated the first half. Second half, yeah, a little bit tailed off in that second half, but credit to the Magpies as well. Got to say because they could have easily got blown out in that second half, and they didn't. They scored a couple of tries. And yeah, look, the scoreline finished 22-14. But who was your standout player from that New South Wales Cup game? I would say Sam Healy. I think
Yeah,
Sam Healy
Sam
had
had some
a
really good
very good
moments.
game. Um,
Yep.
Obviously no Tanner and no Kane, so it's going to be interesting to. I was interested to see how they would go without them. And they didn't do too badly in that first half, but maybe that second half, maybe a bit of a sign that they did miss them in that second half. I don't know, but yeah, what did you make of that New South Wales Cup game? Another win, 12 wins in a row actually now, so they're on a bit of a roll. They've only lost one game, which is a crazy. They could probably break the record by the looks of things at the moment. if they can keep
Yeah,
this
look,
going. Yeah,
they they definitely. I mean, some quality players, and the fact they're continuing on. It's credit to the likes of
yeah,
a Jet Cleary and a Luke Hanson as well, and then
mm,
Sam Healy. Yeah, I thought got a good balanced side there with Bunty as well, kind of in the
yeah,
middle there. Kossi's bagging a try as well. Siokali, another one that explosive. You know, to see what he brings, but just all vets, you know. And then you tie and Leo Toa just coming back from injury. It's good to see him get a try. Um, but yeah, Sam Healy for me is probably that guy. Just the creativity, his involvement, that little kick he put in for Kossi as well. I thought was beautiful to see. Um, but there are definitely some players in there that, like, you really can see them developing and carrying on. I think I'm going to give credit to Jake Cleary and Luke Hansen as well. Just consistency. Luke Hansen, for one particular, just continues to put his hand up. So those are some of the things I like to see. Leotoa, I'm interested to see how he goes. He only played half a game, so it doesn't seem as though he's going to come straight back in to the first grade. So there's a bit of work to do there, but um, look, it's great to see them, and not against any scrubs. I mean, Taylor May bagged a hat trick. Shout out to Taylor May. He's working his way back in. He's a great player, isn't
yeah,
he? And Naden's there as well. So it's not like you know they're up against it, inexperienced players. But yeah, I got to give the credit uh, to to Sam Healy for me as that standout. Yeah,
yeah. Sam Healy, yeah, he was great. I saw see his stats as well, actually, and I'm just looking at it. I think there is it one try assist there. Yeah, so 11 all runs, 139 all running meters, and 37 post contact meters and one tackle break as well. So yeah,
yep,
but he look he's had a great. I think he's had a great year. Obviously we
yep,
saw a bit of him, a glimpse of him in first grade for a bit and then obviously he's just unlucky just not to be in that first grade side. Albeit because Webby is liking what Tamari Martin's been doing off the bench. So and of course Tamari can play a lot of more positions wise, so that's why he's been
yeah,
favoured on the bench. I know a lot of Warriors fans. I've seen a lot of Warriors fans want to see Sam Healy on that bench each week. But he's doing a great job. I think Sam, he's definitely a good job. But his time will come. He'll get more first grade games in the
he will,
future.
he will.
Maybe next year at some point. Who knows? But yeah, look,
Well,
another
he,
good
he
win.
he's
Yeah,
he's one step away.
yeah.
Sorry, just cut you off.
Oh,
He's
you're
actually
right.
one step away from an Egan injury.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah. Exactly.
look what
Yeah,
Tanner Boyd. He was one step away from the Luke Metcalf injury. So it can be quite sensitive. You never know. And knock on
mm,
wood, I'm not saying I want Egan injured, but your opportunity is always around the corner. And just be ready, as what next man up Webby always says. Opportunities will present themselves. It's hard to play a full season without having some form of injury to key players. So, but yeah, that's just what I'd add there.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, well said there. And Bosch is just saying here. Yeah, Freddie Lussick's got to give a shout out. Yeah, he's gained a bit of busyness doing his job. Yeah, and he's he's been playing prop as well. When I saw that at the start of the season, that was playing prop. I thought it was a bit of a laugh. I thought it was a bit of a joke, but it was all
Nice.
seriousness. He's been playing a lot of prop as well. I think he's been pretty much playing a lot of prop and yeah in that New Zealand Cup side. So yeah.
He could be a bodybuilder, old Freddie.
Oh
Like he looks like a guy just put heaps of
just
mess on him. Like
yeah.
if he got on the gear, he'd just be one of those massive guys you see in the gym. So shout out to Freddie, bro. Yeah,
Yeah, and a big shout out to the Cup side because 12 wins
had
straight in a row as well, and they've only lost one game. I think one game they lost to was Newtown Jets. And that's the only team they've lost to. One loss,
yep,
which is crazy at this point of the season. Now into finals, and they look odds on, to finish, in that top spot on the New South Wales Cup ladder. Because I just looking at their
bro.
4 games, man, they're well
I, was,
clear
I,
of
was, I
everyone
asked
else.
this in my chat.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Phonetics. Is this the first time we've ever won 12 games in a New South Wales Cup level in a row? And
Yeah,
even like I'm thinking of Vulcans. Anyone in the chat go back to
yeah,
Vulcans era. I'm trying to think if this is the most wins of any grade maybe in
mm,
Warriors history. Yeah, just something to I think
yeah.
about.
I think, yeah, I think so because I don't recall the Vulcans. Like the Vulcans were good, they made the grand final. But I don't think that they won 12 straight games in a row. I think I know. Yeah, I don't recall. I don't recall it. No.
Yeah,
Yeah, Freddie's a man. Yeah, he definitely is. Jazz. A lot slimmer than his brothers, but gives it hard if he goes harder. Yep, it
he
definitely.
does. Yeah,
Definitely. But yeah, look, a big shout out to David Pungi Tatoa, the New South Wales Cup coach. Actually,
love David.
he
David's
is
work's very good. Yep.
he's doing a great job because a couple of weeks ago I think there was an article and they mentioned they mentioned him. He mentioned that behind the scenes how he's getting the boys up each week and
Yep.
obviously with the first graders, how he feels about losing players, and he's like, oh, I'm used to having players gone because he's been in this
Yeah.
situation before.
Tough gig.
So
Tough gig being a cup coach. You can totally
yeah,
get it. Just keep
mm,
bring up John Doe's question. I didn't realize that the
yeah,
under 18s won 16 in a row.
yep.
Is that would that
Wow,
have been NIC?
yeah, I think so. Oh, oh, what happened? You're cut out a bit. Hello, hello. Oh, what happened to my end? Is it my end or is it your end? I can't hear you. Oh, hello,
Hello, hello,
hello, hello. Oh,
hello. Yep. Can
can you?
you hear me?
I can hear you now. Not sure what happened.
Ah, sorry. It must have been a cutout.
Yeah, it must have cut out. Yeah. Oh, back. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be. Maybe my internet's just
Yeah.
a bit low out these ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, not sure what's going on. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, as you're saying. Yeah, what you're saying about the under.
Yeah, I was saying
Yes.
under
Sorry.
18s was John Doe
Yep.
meaning the was that the Harold Matt? No, or was he talking about NYC days winning 16 in a row? Um,
Um.
or was
Yeah.
that SG Ball? I'm trying to figure out when that is.
No, because I
It's,
don't think we've had a team in the SG Ball before. I think we've had teams in the. I think we had a team in the under 20s. I know we had a team in the Holden Cup days, the Toronto Cup days when the under 20s were introduced. Yeah, I don't. No, I don't. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
maybe
it's a
you
great.
need
I
to
mean,
clarify in the comments
if
because
John
I
Doe,
don't
if you're
recall.
trying to figure out where he got that from, that number,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, internet's my internet's been playing up the last couple of days. Everyone's giving me stick. Bruce, there, my hamsters aren't working hard enough. So yeah,
Oh,
inside joke from Wise Up TV, but no, yeah, these guys know if it cuts out, it's definitely me. It's not you, bro.
yeah. No,
Nah, all good.
I thought it was my end at one first. Yeah. So, but
Nah,
yeah, I
you're
think
all good, man.
that pretty much wraps up the New South Wales Cup. We'll move on to the first grade game now. So first grade, Waz versus the Tigers. Boy. Yeah, what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on this one? Look, I felt like it was a crucial win for us because obviously coming off those two back-to-back losses for the first time this year, and then Look, obviously coming off that bye, we had the gutting news with Metcalf being ruled out for the season. We all sitting there going, next man up, who's going to come in? We all saying Tana Boyd, Kane Tuapiki comes in. They're both named. What were your thoughts on the game? What are your thoughts on the game as a whole? Because look, we start off slowly. The Tigers obviously got that try first up. Due well, obviously being we had we gave away a penalty. I think it was Jackson Ford for a strip. They came down the other end. They scored. What were your thoughts? On this game. What do you make
Um,
of this? First couple minutes.
yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was a great game. I
Yep.
thought overall we we dominated. Yep, barring the start, there was a bit of alarm bells, but we had some poor moments for sure. Those tries we let in, but overall we dominated their pack. The call to get forward in the middle and move Manata to the edge was the right call.
Mm,
Clark was dominant. Fish, his usual self, in
yep.
terms of his work. Egan was in a much better position, and then it ties back into the organizational half of Tanner Boyd leading the team around, um, and the control. When you obviously win the middle, you can start to control, and manipulate defenses. And credit to Tanner Boyd, he and Tane with CHT started to control, and I think that was critical, especially critical of them. And Tanner Boyd showed signs that he can be the leading half moving forward. So it was a great game. It's great to see Tanner do well. Great to see all of our boys do well, actually. And I'm just going to just chuck this quickly at you, Fanatics.
Yep.
Um, for you, what is your gut feeling? I didn't realize this, but Tanner Boyd is 24 years of age, and he's from your neck of the woods, Gold Coast. You would have seen Tanner a lot.
Mm,
You got Luke Metcalf, 25.
yeah.
I'm going to chuck this at you. In your heart of hearts, who would be your seven moving forward? Tanner
Moving
Boyd
forward.
or Luke Metcalf?
Oh, look, I obviously when we signed Luke Metcalf, I was a massive fan, massive fan. And unfortunately, he's just had a bit of a rotten luck, with injuries. And unfortunately, it's happened again this season. He just hasn't been able to, have a full season in the NRL. And it's just unfortunate. It's it's no fault of his own. But yeah, that's a very good question. For me, look, I think at the moment I'll probably still say Luke Metcalf. But that's just me because I've always had that thought that he could be the halfback that could take us into the next couple of years. And look, Tanner's a really experienced player. He's been around been around for years. He's played a bit of NRL for the Titans. He's had games where he's strung them together as well at the Titans. I think that's probably the only worry for Luke Metcalf, is the fact he's had some injuries that really affected him. But yeah, I think at the moment I'll probably say Luke. But Tanner, look, I think Tanner's definitely got real potential
Yep,
to come in. Like I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't rule it out for Tanner to stay
sure.
around and be that long term halves combination. Oh, I think Tanner Boyd, maybe Luke Metcalf as a combination in the next couple of years. I think maybe. I think that's the way I'll
Yeah,
probably see it going because I think Tamari Martin, I don't think it's going to be around for much longer in the club.
yep,
I think there's a lot of clubs that could use Tamari, especially the new side like the Perth Bears coming in.
yeah,
Um, Papua New Guinea probably, a possibility, but at the moment, look, I'd probably say it's probably for me, you know, Luke Metcalf right now. Um, That's probably the way I personally see it. That's just the way I'd go with it at the moment because I think Luke's got great potential, and obviously he was leading the Dally M's not long ago as well. Before, which is
Exactly.
just his rise, his rise, coming back into the side, I think we could see the improvements that he was making, and just the unfortunate, injury that just happened in that game against the Bronx in Brisbane. So yeah, I was there when that happened. Unfortunately, yeah, it was just very gutting and very sad to see him come off with that injury. So look,
Yep.
I hope I hope he can come back stronger from this. I think you know it's going to be tough, obviously, but he's got he's got the support by the club, his family, and look, I think he can come back better next year. We'll see, but yeah, that's probably the way I'd go with it at the moment.
Yep. No, that's a fair
Yeah,
answer.
yeah,
I'm probably too early to make that call either, but
it is.
I
Yeah,
was thinking, man, if Tanner made a run here and he made it, into a final series and he
mm,
did something in that space, you never know. But I think it's too early to call, for sure. But I'd probably
yeah,
be the same as you, lean towards Luke Metcalf for now. But there's a talent. I mean, they're both a year apart. Tanner's got that experience too. You just never know. But I just thought that'd be a good question to
yeah.
throw back at you, man. Good answer. Good answer that one. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's actually a fair question because obviously with Tanner around the club, he's yeah, I don't know what where he sees his future at the club or not because obviously there's this there was rumors going on not long ago that he might go to the Cowboys, but that's gone now. Apparently he's
Yeah.
signed for next year, so it's hard to really say. I know he's only played one game for us so far, so probably a bit
Yeah.
hard to really say at the moment. But from what I've seen in New South Wales Cup, and it's a totally different from the NRL. But he's been pulling the strings here, and there's a reason why he probably deserves to be in first grade at the moment.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
And yeah, the sacrifice he's made, to say I want to back myself to get a starting spot over the next year.
yeah,
He's done it already due to injury though, but
yeah.
he could say, "Hey, this is my jersey now. You got to take it off me." So great. That's a great sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I like the obviously with the first half. I think we did very well. Like I think we got out to a really obviously we started slowly. They scored, and then we went on a bit of a run. What were your thoughts on the tries that we scored in particular? Because there were, I think we saw Tanner Boyd, and Tane and the spine and Egan. Egan looked very threatening throughout this game. He was a constant threat for the Tigers' defence there. But yeah, I think our spine actually, the thing was going into this game a new look spine. How was it gonna gel? And I think CHT in particular, he was brilliant first half. I don't know why I know a lot of people wanted to see Tamari in the side over CHT, and I was wondering, if you looked at CHT's performances this year, he hasn't had any bad games besides that first round game in Vegas, which a lot of people didn't really play great at anyways. But what did you make of the spine in the first half? How they went about it, particularly Tanner and Kane and Egan. Um, yeah, what were your thoughts on the way they played?
Yeah, I go back to that platform. We got to, we had the platform right. Um, I think we benefited from a poor Tigers team. You
Mm,
saw Egan really triggering the six again, targeting the markers, and the ref was willing to. And not to say there's bias, sometimes can be biased to the away team, and that's great. That's what we have for our home games. You want our home games to be dominant, but there
yep.
definitely was enough good ball and quality from what the forwards laid that Egan had the time but also Egan had the direction of Tanner kind of leading the team around the park. So that's why I think Egan had a good game as well. Shows you that when you got a good seven with structure and the right ideas, things start to open. It's no coincidence that Berry and Dallin scored tries down their right side. And it's not to diminish Luke Metcalf, but don't think he's had quite the same impact in terms of a structured attack and how that impacts the outside. So that was nice to see. And then vice versa, Tane with his involvements, and then you add in CH2, got on the ball a fair bit as well. When you got a good hard pairing, a good leader around the park, it can change things as well. So look, for me, I think the spine was really good. There's big question marks around Tane and his future. Does he take a CNK? Those types of things. But got to give credit to our forwards.
Yeah.
I think Ford was a good change up. Clark was immense again. Dimitrik, Lecker. If you looked at what Lecker did all game, he was so solid, and all of his movements defensively and all the little things. He's performing like a professional, like an experienced pro in many ways. Still young. And then you're adding in Tamaide filling that space at center for us. Like, you don't know
Yeah.
how hard that is, just a guy to just come in and go, yep, I'll figure it out. I'll play a good role there. And then Tanner Smith as well, maintaining that pressure. So look, man, I thought it was really, really good. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens from this. So, but unfortunately, I've got to shoot off, Fanatics. I appreciate your
Yeah.
time, but I just want to leave on a note to say, mate, let's get behind the boys now. 11 wins. We're on 11 wins, guys. I don't
Yeah.
even think did we get to 11 wins last year. I can't even remember. So I think we might have got to 9. So we've got 8 more games to go. We've got a good replacement in the halves. We got good depth coming in to help. Why can't we go for 16 wins? Why can't we stay top 4 is my question. And that's something I'm going to be asking tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Why can't we, the media's already called it off. Remember, Shamus said, no Luke Metcalf, no finals for the Warriors. Bye-bye. Well, Tanner Boyd said, not today.
Yeah.
So, but appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Love being on here, man. Loving the work you're doing, especially the amazing stuff you're doing on Instagram. I love your post match interviews. I like to see that come up. Love your comments, the interaction you're getting with everyone. And guys, just quickly, I just had a sneak peek. Fanatics, you're what, 20 subscribers away from 3K? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you are in here and you're watching this, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Please get our bro over the line here. Get it to 3K. What a feat, especially in this tough market in the NRL space. Every subscriber you got to fight for subscribers, unlike other sports and other topics. So massive. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate that, man. Showing our love. 7 wins last year, Tay. Just quickly. Okay, but anyway, thank you for your time, Fanatics, man. You're doing wonderful things here. Support our brother. Yeah, and as Jazz says, I'll give my modem some goal kicking rank. Sorry, man. I didn't get to the hamsters. I haven't fed the hamsters today. But yeah, my apologies for cutting out. But Fanatics, thanks, bro. Appreciate your time. We'll catch you later, eh? Okay, see you later, everyone in the chat.
All right. All good. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
No problem, man. Thank you as always.
Awesome.
Yep.
No worries. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, so thanks to Levon from Wise Up TV for coming on. Really do appreciate him for coming on and giving us time to chat about Warriors footy. And yeah, go and subscribe to Wise Up TV on YouTube. Big shout out to Levon, Wise Up TV, and Ash doing some great work, growing some great content there. So yeah, big shout out to them. But yeah, I'll just continue on with the review. So like I say, I think we 28-14 was the score. It was good to get up and get the win. And we need this result. We really did because obviously coming off those back-to-back losses, into the bye, Tanner Boyd had a great game. First game in the Warriors jersey. Shout out to Tane as well. So Tane was brilliant. What he did. He was my. I think I'd probably say him and CHT. It was really hard to pick a man of the match for this game, and I'll give it to CHT because I think CHT was brilliant. But Tane was awesome. Tano was great. I think shout out to our forwards, Fisher Harris, Marata Niokore Ford. All were standouts for me in our forward pack as well. But yeah, stats wise, let's go through the stats. So possession was 51% Warriors, Tigers 49%. Time of possession, Warriors 28 minutes and 30 seconds. Tigers with 26 minutes and 39 seconds. Completion rates, Warriors 82% with 37 from 45 sets. And Tigers with 81%, 30 from 37 sets. All running meters, Warriors 1,739 to the Tigers. Tigers there, 1,341. Post-contact meters, 562 to the Warriors. Tigers 422, with the Warriors making 35 tackle breaks to the Tigers 29 there. And offloads, of course, Warriors 5, Tigers 4. Tackles made, Warriors 341, and the Tigers were 332. The missed tackles, 29 to the Warriors, Tigers 35, and penalties conceded, 4 to the Warriors, Tigers 5 there. So yeah, we'll go through some of the standout players. So just standout players stats here. So RTS, man, he was brilliant. 24 runs for 271 all running meters, 38 kick return meters, 94 post contact meters, and 2 line breaks for 4 tackle breaks. The man RTS was absolutely brilliant in this game. He was everywhere. It was all class. And then Tamari Martin, man, 223 all running meters, 66 kick return meters, 40 post contact meters, one line break assist, and 11 tackle breaks. And that was Tane Tuapiki as well. And he was just awesome, man. I love Tane Tuapiki. He is such a dynamic fullback. Very small in stature, but man, he is elusive. He is quick. So yeah, it was just great to see him back on the in the first grade side. Great to see him on the field again. And I think him, Tana, as a spine, will only grow and improve over time. And we've got to remember that Tamari Martin came onto the field. He played in the centres for Rocco Berry. And unfortunately, once again, Rocco Berry has suffered another injury, man. He is getting such a rotten luck with injuries. And look, not his fault whatsoever, but man, you have to unfortunately make these tough conversations and tough words. Are we going to be re-signing for the next couple of years? And I don't want to say it, man. I absolutely love Rocky Berry. I've been a massive fan of him through his junior years, but man, he's just not been able to sell on the field, and that's just a real shame. So yeah, look, I really do hope he comes back better and stronger. But man, he has just had a really tough run lately with his injuries, and he's not been able to string games together. So does that mean, for me now in terms of the centre, you've got two options. You've got Kurt Capewell that can play a bit of centre, or do you bring in Ali Leotower back into the side? And a lot of people wouldn't want to see, Leotower back in. I personally would love to see him back on the side, but look, with Teamless Tuesday tomorrow, will Webby name him? I think he probably might go with. I think he might go with Kurt Capewell in the centres. I think he might play Kurt Capewell in the centres, and I think that's probably the way I can see it, planning out. But will Leotow get an opportunity? Probably not this week. I think maybe we'll give him a few other New South Wales Cup games to get his rhythm back. But yeah, Will's saying here that Tamari Martin's such a smooth player, yeah, and he provided the impact for one of our tries as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Webby does with the centre pairing combination this week, because Rocco Berry unfortunately is going to be out yet again, which is a real shame. So hopefully, my thoughts go out to Rocco, and I hopefully he can come back better from these injuries, because man, he's just had such a bit rolling luck. I've been the biggest Rocco Berry fan since starting this channel. Um, and yeah, I have to be quite honest and quite frank, and unfortunately I have to say it, but yeah, man, if he doesn't get over these injuries, his future could be a bit of, unfortunately, might be a little bit of, might be tough for him to stay at the club in the next couple of years. Unfortunately, and I don't want to say it, but yeah. Jazz is saying here, a few people at the Wires alone now. Rocco will play 40 minutes on a weekend. Barry, Luke Metcalf, and Freddie Lussick with potential positional changes. Yeah, absolutely, man. I think the biggest worry at the club has been, outside back Steph, and I think that has actually come back to bite us a bit, this season. It really has. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. Injuries do happen in the game, but yeah, it's a real shame there, real shame. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up, guys. That's going to be the review. Thanks to Levon again from Wires Up TV for jumping on. I'm gonna say it was, look, a good to get the win, of course. Now with top four, it's very crucial that we get a few more wins on the board, and try and cement that top four spot, because look, I think second chance in the finals is really important. I know we got the Knights this week on Sunday afternoon. And yeah, that'll be another game where a lot of talks around the Knights at the moment. Adam O'Brien apparently, there's talks that he might get the boot at the end of the season. So there's a lot of talks here, of course, and we've got injury issues as well, the Knights. So look, I know reality says that we should be beating them easily on Sunday, but I think it's going to be a really I think it'll be tough. I still reckon it'll be a tough game, and like I said with the Tigers, and there are no easy games in this competition. There are no easy games. Doesn't matter where each team is situated on the ladder. And I'm sure the Knights want to play for their fans in front of, at home as well. So yeah, I think it'll be look, we should be winning the game, but look, don't be surprised if the Knights are really competitive and give it a red hot crack as well. So yeah. But yeah, look, great weekend. Great weekend as a whole for the club. Shout out to all our teams: New South Wales Cup, Jersey Flegg Cup under 21s. The NRLW side. Shout out to all four teams for getting wins on the weekend. It's just great to be a Warriors fan. And yeah, the next couple of weeks, I say, it's going to be crucial, man. With the Knights, Titans at home, and of course, the two toughest games for me are going to be the Dogs and the Dolphins. The Dolphins at home and the Dogs away will be two tricky tests for the boys coming up. But this week's game against the Knights, another game which we're going to need to win. You've got the likes of the Broncos and the Penrith right behind us on the table, putting the pressure on, and we need to just keep winning games if we want to finish in that top four spot. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for watching this live review, live show, and yeah, please don't forget to hit the like on the live stream. Make sure you're clicking that thumbs up button, and if you're a new viewer, returning viewer, and you're here, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because subscribing is absolutely free. It's much appreciated. It does help the channel. And yeah, trying to get to 3K subscribers, and we're not far away too. So let's see if we can get there real soon. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun backing. It's gonna be a really fun back end of the season with the finals coming up as well. And just to actually catch just one more comment before we head off. So Jazz is just saying, yeah, Finns and Dragons. Friends and Dragons won't be easy beats either, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, they won't be either. The Dragons are a team that you just never know. On their day, they can show up and do something. No teams are easy in this competition. they're definitely that's what I'll say. And we've seen how unpredictable this NRL competition is this year. But guys, thanks for watching. That's going to wrap it up. Have a good rest of the week. Up the Waz, go the Mighty Warriors. 4 wins from 4. You know, looking forward to this week and looking forward to the game on Sunday. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Go and check out Waz Up TV as well. Big shout out to Levon, Waz Up TV, and Ash. They're doing some great content. So, yeah, big shout out to those legends. And big shout out to you all in the chat for watching. And we will see you guys all soon. Have a good one. Up the Waz.